I'm Daniel Kwan.
I'm Agatha Chang.
And I'm Amar Ijaz.
And we're the co-hosts of Asians Represent.
We explore cultural stereotypes in games, new and old, and how we can overcome them to make the gaming industry more equitable by talking to entertainers, scholars, educators, activists, and designers.
While doing this, we're also going to have some fun with actual play content like our Masks New Shambhala miniseries and our ongoing Dungeons and Asians campaign.
Most importantly, we're highlighting the contributions of a new generation of Asian creators who are making the gaming market a place we feel represented. Their creations and unique experiences play a transformative role in turning the gaming scene into a place that we can love and trust again.
So check us out by subscribing to Asians Represent on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts.
You know things, I know some too. Sit right down, the femsplain them to you. If there's a thing you want to explain, these two feminists can entertain. Nerdy stuff, sexy stuff, so much to know. Tune in for the Femsplain Show.
Hi, Avalon.
Hi, Diana.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Also.
Good.
Good.
One of us is feeling a little weird, and I bet you don't know which one. It's me. I feel like I haven't had a conversation with a person in a really long time, and that's not true, but that's how I feel.
It's fine. Sometimes we feel that way.
It's true.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just a feeling, and it's fine.
You know when you're just like on a roll with the timing of your responses just being like slightly too delayed, and you can just it's the echoes of it are haunting you. Well, that's called a social anxiety disorder, and that's where we're at this evening. But I am genuinely really excited to be here recording. It's been a minute.
Yeah, me too. Really very much so. What the fuck was our last topic?
Queer Arcana.
Queer Arcana. Oh, all right. So our last one was a good one.
It was.
You know what? Let's just say that it was hard to follow that.
Yes.
So we needed a break.
A lot has happened since then. Also, it's like summer and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot has happened since then.
That is very true also. But if you haven't listened to the Queer Arcana episode for some reason, please listen to it.
Yeah, go listen to it.
It's good. And then also follow Queer Arcana and everything they do. So before we jump in, Avalon, do you want to talk about what queer culture has done for you? What nerd culture is what nerd culture has done for you, but also I guess queer culture also, but primarily nerd culture.
I mean, queer culture continues to be the only culture, and so any culture that's doing anything for me is queer culture. And that's its own podcast. Nerd culture, I would love to take this opportunity to touch on some of the highlights in both of our nerdy little lives since we last recorded. You were on Critter Hug since we last recorded.
Oh my God. Yeah. That definitely happened since then. Yeah, I was on Critter Hug. If you don't know this, I had recorded it a while before.
Right.
So I was keeping quiet about it on the podcast, which was very difficult. And that was pretty damn cool. And I was on with Critical Bard, which was very, very awesome. Obviously not at the same time, but he was also on that episode, and that was pretty neat.
I bet. Oh, you know what else that is related to me, and therefore I'm more excited, is you released the new version of Neverland since then.
That is the most true.
Yeah.
Yes. With Avalon wrote an entire adventure, which is, so if you have Neverland previously, there is a level 1 to 3 adventure in there. But Avalon wrote a 5 to 7 level adventure, which is now in there, which is really cool. And Noir Enigma wrote a subclass for paladins, kind of inspired by Hook, which is also very cool. And those are in there, and you can get that now. Yeah. So yeah, if you for some reason have not jumped on Neverland yet, now there is so much more content to it, including Avalon's Adventure and Noir Enigma's subclass, and you should definitely get that because it's awesome.
Yay! It was just really exciting to be a part of it. But also, yeah, everybody, if you haven't already downloaded it, you should go do it.
Yeah. What else has nerd culture done for you lately?
I think Podjam was cool. I want to talk about that too.
Yeah, Podjam was awesome. Lissa, who is the host of the Behold Her podcast, what she has put together is like a collective of femme nerd podcasts that are all kind of connected. And one of the things that they've done recently is they put on a trial version of a Pod Jam sort of convention where all these like nerd femme podcasters come together and talk about stuff in the podcasting world. And we got to be a part of a really cool panel about nerd culture commentary with like phenomenal people. It was pretty wild. It was great.
Yeah, we had a great time. I'm thrilled that we were asked to do it. And there should be a VOD for it coming soon. Maybe on YouTube or something.
It's live on Twitch currently, but at this point in time, it is like the full day in one video. As soon as they are broken up into segments onto their YouTube page, we will link it on the Femsplain Twitch and on our individual Twitters and stuff. But that should be happening shortly. But right now, if you want to watch the whole day, which frankly I highly recommend, it's full of great content. It's up on
Venture Maidens.
Twitch. Thank you.
Yeah.
You just started a brand new show.
Oh, I did. Thank you for remembering that. I've got to be honest with you, Diana. This whole time I've been sitting here thinking, like, I want Diana to talk about all of the cool stuff they have going on, but I don't know what they're allowed to talk about yet. So I've just been in my own head being like, ooh, I wonder if they're going to mention this thing. Yes, sorry. So I started this past week on Critical Miss's channel doing a 4-episode Humblewood arc run. I have not said this to anybody because I didn't want to like psych myself out or set anyone's expectations accordingly. But this is my very first time DMing on an actual play. I've only ever done it privately. I've never done it like live before. And so I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to make it a bigger deal than it was and stress myself out about it more than I already was. But yeah, so that's happening. It's been a lot of fun. I am my own worst critic, but my players are like very gracious and engaged, and it makes me feel a little bit easier on myself. So it's been nice.
Yeah, it's a really good crowd. It's a really great game. Also, I really like Humblewood as a setting. And you're doing a great job. And also, I mean, I know some of the people on your show, but not everyone. But from watching it, everybody is really great.
Yeah.
And there's like a little bit of closet cosplay going on, which I really love. I really love that so much. I think it like adds a little element of extra immersion to things, and it's just really cute.
I love that. I did session 0 with 3 out of 4 of the players, and then one for scheduling reasons I talked to individually. And they had asked towards the end of the conversation, would it be okay to wear animal ears? And I just, first of all, could not imagine a world in which the answer to that would ever be no.
No? Yeah, right.
But I thought it was very sweet because she then brought it up in the main chat with everyone, and 2 other people were like, we're also planning on doing it.
I love
So it was
that.
very sweet, and I decided to do, for the first time in my life, like little like space buns, because it kind of was like I don't know. I don't have animal ears. And I was excited for them, and I kind of wanted to be involved in their excitement.
You looked kind of like a teddy bear to me.
Well, I was okay with it. So
yeah, it's very cute. So follow Critical Misses on Twitch to catch more of that and to catch the VODs.
Yeah, it is airing at the same time as a pretty fancy show right now, and so I'm just happy for people to watch the VODs.
Pretty Fancy Show is not airing live. It is pre-recorded, and it is placed behind a paywall, so you can watch it whenever. This is live. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Watch
on Wednesday nights.
Yes. And all right. Anything else you got going on?
I'm sure there's a lot, but that's all I can think of. Okay. Do you have stuff you were going to talk about?
Mm-hmm. I do want to talk about it.
I'm more excited about your stuff, so go.
So, I want to say, because I always talk about stuff I'm doing and never stuff that, like, I got to absorb. And I think in nerd culture, even though it's a little exciting to me, I got to go and see a show called Stranger Sings, which is a musical parody of Stranger Things. And it was, I went to go see it because Marty was playing bass in the pit, but it wound up being like, it's maybe my new favorite thing that I wish I want this to have come out 2 years ago, so that it could be a major cultural shift. Like I want this to have like a rippling effect, but it probably won't, because it's a little bit delayed on the Stranger Things train. But it is fucking poignant. It's so on point. It's so good, and it was just like I was like hooting and hollering throughout the entire thing, and have started rewatching Stranger Things from the beginning as a result of this show, because of how like good the references are and everything. So
well, you mentioned that they're gonna do a cast recording.
Yes, they are gonna do a recording, which is very cool. And like, I think there's an old recording somewhere on YouTube, but like if it goes places, you want to see it.
Yeah.
For sure. So that was one thing. And the other things I have coming up, which are very exciting to me, are, if you remember, I've talked at length on this podcast about the Amory Wars, which is the Coed and Cambria universe, that all of their music and comic books and novels and everything is all taking place in. I'm a big fan of all of it, and I have decided to run a game using the Cortex system within that universe. That is going to be happening starting on September 21st as a 4 to 5 episode, depending on where we go, arc with some seriously amazing people. All of that to be announced as soon as we get all our art in order. And I'm very, very excited. We just had like a little bit of a two-parter session 0, like with most of the cast. And everybody's amazing, has great character concepts. I mean, despite like the fact that I'm kind of explaining this world that is super complex, and maybe I don't have all of the intricacies that Claudio has in his mind, everybody's really picking up on the vibe very well, and like understanding the assignment like super well. It seems like it's going to be very anime, because Wally and Austin are involved, and they are taking it to a anime extreme isms, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm very excited. And then
have you like been in touch with Claudio about it yet?
Not yet. What I plan to do is I plan to get the like headshots, art, etc., and then I'm gonna send it. They're like, you know, they're gonna be on tour at the time, so I don't expect anything. But like, I don't know, on the off chance that they feel like looking at their TMs,
sure,
maybe they will see it. And then I have a big fundraiser coming up, which was kind of a fever dream that I tweeted out, and that is happening on the 14th of September. If you are a fan of Ginny D, Abria Iyengar, and Gabe Hicks, you should watch them try to escape the hedge as captives of the Fae Court on that day. And you should also donate to the Trans Lifeline for us so that we can raise lots of money. We're going to have some giveaways from Die Hard Dice, possibly other places that are cool yet to be announced. So keep your eyes and ears open for that.
NBD.
No big deal. No, I'm not freaking out about that. To be honest, it has now officially been like a long time since I've DM'd an on-stream campaign.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first on-stream DMing for me in I think about a year.
Oh wow, that is a long time. Yeah, it's been a little bit over a year for me for DMing. And there are definitely things that I'm like, "Oh no. I don't remember how that works."
I am happy that I'm doing Cortex for the Coheed stream, because I am not going to pretend like I am going to stick to the rules. I'm going to make it completely up.
Yeah.
I do appreciate...
Well, you made it up, so...
Yeah.
Well,
and we're going to... Yeah.
And then... God, when was the last time you did any World of Darkness? Oh, you did the werewolf game.
The werewolf game, which is almost a year ago. That was October last year, was my World of Darkness. I'm playing in a World of Darkness game right now as a player.
Oh, okay.
Off stream. It's like being recorded. You'll see it eventually. I don't know when or where. I have no idea what the details are. Zero clue. But I'm playing in it. But I haven't DM'd anything since the werewolf game. Yeah.
It'll be great.
It's gonna have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will figure it out.
I think that, first of all, it'll be great and you'll be great. But if, like, whatever the worst case scenario could possibly be, your players are so fantastic that they'll just run away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll just sit there smiling and nodding.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, worst case scenario, that would still be incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
But it will be so much better than that, and it won't come to that.
Yeah. I hope not, because hopefully this will be not the last time I ever see these people again.
Right.
But yes, hopefully. But yes, they will be fantastic.
That'll be interesting. You know, I've never actually seen Ginny in anything.
I saw her. The only other things, the only live D&D stuff that she's done that I know of has been like charity stuff.
Yeah.
Most of her stuff is her private home games, to my knowledge.
That'll be very interesting.
So I'm very excited, and I'm very excited to see them interact together, because I think that they all have like similar energies. Like, I think that they will vibe very well. I think it'll be very good.
Good for you. That's so
very
cool.
Excited. I'm very excited. So that's the nerd culture update. Lots of filled cups. So in our previous episode, we had lovely guests.
So amazing.
Oh God, so amazing. Great guests who were part of a kind of hybrid of drag, burlesque, D&D, like vaudeville type, like shows that they put on, like live action D&D in cosplay that is also drag. Amazing. Please go check them out. But it's been a while and we want to talk about something new, and I definitely want to get a man in here to explain this because I absolutely cannot fathom what Francis will say to describe this topic. So
yeah, I also don't know.
In a mansplain minute, everything's explained. In a mansplain minute, tell the ladies what to say. In a mansplain minute,
putting 1 minute on the man watch and go. Dating sims. Man, these are ruining video games. As if we weren't already drowning under shovelware created for the chore simulator industry, now, something that began as weird phone ads we used to all make fun of together has entered the mainstream. They're being talked about on podcasts I like. I'm talking about them on a podcast I like. Ooh, meta. And listen, you're not fooling anybody. It's not ironic. At a certain point, when you've played enough of these, you are not playing them ironically. It's like people watching Love Island because they open quote, like to make fun of it. No, you like to like it. That's what you like to do. You like Love Island. And because of that, I have to see things like Boyfriend Dungeon on Game Pass. Which, by the way, I have Game Pass now. What were we talking about? Oh, dating sims. I don't like them. And this has been your Mansplain Minute.
okay, so we, as usual, don't know
We don't know what that was.
what he said. But so I feel like this is kind of a come to Jesus moment for me, a sort of like admitting I'm wrong kind of moment, in that I sincerely had a lot of judgments in my brain, probably mostly from internalized misogyny, but like overall in terms of dating sims, like I've dismissed them pretty much.
I am surprised by that.
Yeah, I am too, genuinely. It might not be dating sims in general. It might be the format of like the visual novel.
Yeah.
Also, that I have felt like, you know, I probably won't like this. I've had a feeling that, you know, clicking through a story
Yes.
would not have the same impact on me as a story-based RPG.
There is something about the fact that the images aren't moving and you're just getting
Yes.
character stills and blocks of text that for some reason, like, my gut is, well, that's lazy from a game design standpoint. And I don't think that's true. That's just kind of
right. No,
a bias that I have.
Yeah. And I think that I dismiss them a lot also. Probably, again, now looking back on my new lens, now having fallen in love with them, I do think a lot of it is just, you know, some biases. But I also think that there's definitely like a surplus of them that are advertised on like Facebook and Instagram in a way.
I live for those ads though.
I know, but in a way that seems like extra cheese and really extra like bad.
But they are so bad, like so campy and bad, that I feel like whoever's coming up with them, it is not an accident. Like, I think that they are a genius. They're the most outrageous, batshit storylines. Right.
Like the ones you see on Instagram and
Love
Facebook
it. Yes.
are like, I'm a princess, and should I marry the love of my life or get married for money? And then it shows her getting married for love, and then like it cuts to her like covered in flies, and she's like, I'm sad now. You lose. Like they're like that. That's but it's kind of shit I see.
It's always more than that. It's like, I am pregnant with your baby. An identical twin? My sister's also pregnant. Who's the father? Like, I love those.
Amazing. So those are like the ads that I have seen for a lot of these like dating sim type games. And so when Dream Daddy came out, I was like, okay, that's going to be something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of dismissed it. And then I saw, like, every single, like, friend I have in the gaming world played it and was, like, raving about it. And I still, in my brain, was like, everybody's lost it. Like,
yeah.
there's no way that this is any different than that. And so, finally, like, I tuned into Danny. Danny plays games. I tuned into one of his streams playing Dream Daddy for like 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, I saw what was going on in that game, and I was like, I have to leave right now. Like, because my mind has changed. I'm going to play this, and I need to get out of here to play this myself. So I started to play that game, played it like obsessively. It's, first of all, I don't know if you know this, but Erika Ishii plays like your daughter in that game.
No, I didn't know that.
Amazing. So in this game, in Dream Daddy, you play a recently single dad of a teenage daughter, and you and your teenage daughter just moved to a new cul-de-sac, and this cul-de-sac just happens to be inhabited by only homosexual single dads whose previously female partners have recently passed away.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
It's like everybody has like some similar story to that. Including you move into this town and you meet all these dads and learn all their stories. You learn about all their kids and stuff like that. And you have a really, really cool, like cooler than you are, like cheeky teenage daughter played by Erika Ishii. And throughout all of these, like interactions that you have, dates that you go on, there are these like mini games that you have to play in order to like be good at the date. And you get graded on them all. I have learned that the grading system in these games is very weird in that S is a better grade than A. I did not know that. And so I played through this game. I was very set. There is a character in this game who looks just like Gabe. And I was like, well, that's, I set out in my mind. I was like, I'm going to try to date Gabe. But then quickly I realized that he was the only one in this game that I liked at all. I thought everyone else was super annoying. So I was very set on this. And then we go through this whole game, and because I didn't do well at the mini games, at the end he asked me to just be friends.
Oh.
It was devastating. Devastating. Very tragic. I got B's in all of his mini games, and I've learned that B's do not get
degrees.
D's.
Oh, yours was better.
it's actually just me retconning what I said on stream the night that I failed when I did say bees do not get degrees.
Oh, okay.
So you're
I'm just one step behind.
Your instinct was right. So, but I want to go back and play it again and like try harder at these mini games and like to try to like do better, because it's very fascinating, and it's also a very short game, which is also nice. Like,
yeah,
you can play it in like maybe 2 days. But so this game sparked like my interest in this genre, like, and made me think like, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about like looking to try new ones. And then this new game just came out called Dungeon Boyfriend.
Right, which has
sparked some controversy, and
it's
which
taken over my timeline.
I will absolutely address that controversy 1,000%. So
I will tell you that before we started recording, when you were like, "I'm excited," and I was like, "that my." Was specifically about talking about the controversy.
No, all right. Look, everybody. My summary of the controversy is that fair, but fucking calm down. Like fair, but calm down.
Yeah.
It's so the part of the controversy that's absolutely valid is that the content warning. So I think that if this were any other game, they put a very, they've put a very conscious content warning in front of their game, where when you started it, they said, similar to like, you know how in Animal Crossing, you get like periodic letters from mom?
Yeah.
Like, and like gifts from mom, supportive letters from mom, etc. So some people have brought up the fact that, like, you know, that if you've lost a mom, that those notifications don't feel great. This game has in the front of the game, hey, in this game, you will periodically get supportive text messages from mom. Would you like to turn this off? And it gives you the option to toggle it off, which seems like extraordinarily like considerate. I think that if they had not done that, it would not have made the juxtaposition of the other thing seem as like extremely like, it's like that was very considerate.
Yes.
Maybe to the point where it was not necessarily like vital. But then on the other hand, they were like, this game may contain themes of stalking and abuse. So you're like, oh, okay, we're going to encounter something like that. It's the main villain, and you cannot not interact with it.
Yeah.
And he's stalking you, the main character. So like the issue is, I think that the content warning that probably should have been more paid attention to should have been a little bit more like, hey, this game
is about
the plot is about you having a stalker. Like, that's a main plot point. And it is, I will give it to the game. I truthfully enjoyed it, but it is very true to life. Like the stalker, like, you know, ignores your rejections, sends gifts without you asking, like, you know, like shows up, and like when you tell him you're not interested, he says, you say that, but your eyes like tell me something different. Like, it's stuff that's very relatable to anybody who's had a persistent, you know, a stalker or something like that. But I just think that because they took so much care into being like, do you want us to not send you supportive messages from a mom character?
Right.
And then we're like, by the way, FYI, you might hear like the whispers about a stalker. And then it turns out that the stalker is the main character that you can't avoid. It rightfully riled people up. They've since fixed the content warning. It is more literal. And that's all fine. So that's the whole controversy. I think that some people got out of hand about it and were like, you should never put that in a game ever, which,
right.
I don't know. It's a game of the game. So the game is about trauma. Like, it's about dating. It's about dating, like, as a person who's not good at dating for whatever reason. And the implication is that you're a person who is, like, needing to work through lots of trauma. And how this game frames it, which is what makes this interesting, is that it is a dating sim, but also a dungeon crawler.
Yes.
So you are kind of fighting your way through these dungeons, and all of the enemies in the dungeon are supposed to be representative of like your fears as a person. As you progress through it, they get more dangerous, but you also get stronger. And as you defeat them, your relationship to other characters grow. It's a pretty cool concept. It's also deeply, deeply weird. Your boyfriends are swords. There's this whole universe which I love. I love a universe where there's no shock to magic.
Yes.
It's just like, oh, yeah. Like, you go to visit your cousin and he's like, oh, yeah. There are swords. They turn into dudes and you can date them. Anyway, I'll see you at the mall. And like, your mom is texting you like, have fun dating swords. like it's, I love when it's normalized.
Same. Yeah.
Like, love that. So basically the point is you go on these dates with these different swords, and then once you like kind of get to know them a little bit, you get to wield them in the dungeon, and that's like how you kind of like level up the romance. Is a combination of these two things. You can't do one or the other, you have to do both.
Yeah.
Like in conjunction. And then once you like defeat XYZ fears, you can like move the plot forward. And the stalker character is kind of a part of that. It doesn't seem clear at first, but as it goes on, I guess it becomes a juxtaposition to like you, the character. He's like, you moved to town, I guess, as like the quote unquote lonely guy, trying to like find love. And you find love by overcoming your fears, and he does it by trying to like control people and like and trying to like assert control. And in the end, you get to defeat him, which to me I thought was actually kind of a satisfying like thing, where you literally get to defeat him, beat him, and then send him to therapy, which is how his arc ends if you play it through. And so it's wonderful. I think that I now fully am in love with dating sims because of this game.
Oh, because of this one.
Yeah. I mean, Dream Daddy started it.
Yeah.
But this, I mean,
I'm going to propose that you had a little bit of a gateway with that monster game you were playing.
Ooh, yeah.
I know that was different. That was kind of like a group game. But
yes, but you're not
yeah.
wrong. You're not wrong. Monster Prom is what you're talking about. You're not wrong. I in my head I thought that was different because it was a group thing. But truthfully, like, yeah, that's exactly the kind of game that I actually want. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, as we've discussed in previous episodes, I have terrible taste in television. I'm capable of having good taste in television, but, like, I really enjoy just sitting and zoning out to reality TV. And I could totally see in my media, in my entertainment, the combination of super cheese, no stakes, and choose your own adventure aspects. Like, I'm there for that.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I'm not a particularly romantic or, like, I'm not a mushy person. I just like the drama.
I am. And
Yeah.
so, like, so in my real romantic life, I do not want drama.
Sure.
I do not want it. I do not want anything at a higher stakes than where to get dinner from.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I want the level of drama to my real life romantic life to get. But do I want to, like, artificially feel the feelings of, like, a high stakes romance? Yes, absolutely, I do.
Do you like the like really, like, romantic stuff though?
Yeah.
Because that makes
Absolutely.
that tends to make me feel anxious.
Oh, I love it. All right. So, like, give me a character in one of these games that, like, believes you are, like, their chosen love of their life, like, the one. I'm into it. I'm absolutely sold.
I like the negging romance. Sign me up for a negging romance.
Well, then in this game, there is someone for you.
There's someone for everyone.
There's someone for everyone. There is. What I do love about Dungeon Boyfriend is that there is a good mix of genders.
I was going to ask, because it sounded like both Dream Daddy and Dungeon Boyfriend was just MLM.
Dream Daddy is MLM. However, you do not necessarily need to be cis. You can...
Oh, sure.
You can be non-binary or trans. However, Dungeon Boyfriend, you can be whoever, and also everyone else is a good smorgasbord.
Oh, I love that.
Genders. There's two non-binary characters, and there is one cis woman who is also in the mix.
Well, I don't like the name of the game.
I think that anyone can be a boyfriend.
I think anyone can be a boyfriend, but I don't think anybody should have to be a boyfriend.
No.
What kind of a boyfriend would you be?
I would be... What do you mean?
I don't know. It just made sense to me.
I would be...
If you were you're stepping into the dating world, and you were somebody's boyfriend, what would you be like?
I would be exactly how I am, as I am now, which is to say, needy.
Okay.
Needy, soft, like in the, not like physically soft, although I am quite squishy. No, I think needy and soft really, really sums it up.
That's wild to me, because I feel like I would be totally different as a boyfriend.
I think
than as a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would be much more... I think I would be much less mean, because I think that the meanness would hit different.
Yeah.
And, like, less, like, snarky and critical and stuff, because I think that would hit really different coming from a guy.
Yeah.
And I think that I would be more like physically protective.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I myself am very situationally aware and like I'm like very tuned in, I think, to where people are at emotionally. And I think I would try to do that while also like bringing like a sense of grounding with my physical presence that I don't think that I'm able to do as someone who does not identify as a man.
Yeah. I see here, this is extremely interesting because I think genuinely, I think I am exactly the same, because I don't genuinely feel different with that word attached to me. And that's something that's very recent.
Yeah.
But I don't feel, it doesn't feel different to me.
I feel like the ways in which I feel like it would be different are entirely based on how I think that society would be perceiving me differently.
Right. Yes.
Like, I think that my impact would be more detrimental for being like, you know, kind of like sassy and shitty. And I think that, like, I feel like I could take up space in a way that other people are acknowledging with more legitimacy.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Now, here's an important question.
Okay.
And here's the backstory. So in Dungeon Boyfriend, all of the boyfriends, girl, non-binary, and otherwise, are weapons of some kind.
Yeah.
They can turn into weapons, and then they can turn into their human selves. Some of them are swords. Some are daggers. There's an axe thrown in there. There's a set of there's actually a cat.
Sure.
You cannot date the cat, but you can become friends with the cat.
Okay.
I do not want to slander this game. But the cat is a pair of brass knuckles. So what kind of weapon would you be if you were a boyfriend?
So again, I'm going to say, if I was me, whatever gender that means, if I was me as I am, I think I would be a bow and arrow.
Ooh, and that there is none in that game, and I think that is what it's missing.
Yeah,
is there's no sort of ranged like weaponry.
But I will tell you that this like borderline drag king-esque boyfriend persona that I've created for myself,
good,
I feel like is something totally different.
Yeah, I love that.
I feel like it's something large and sturdy and blunt.
Maybe you're like a mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm even picturing like a very, very oversized, like full body covering, like shield that you can actually bash with.
Ooh. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, especially because that like kind of incorporates you as like a height factor, like that kind of incorporates that into it.
I think I'm picturing that as a boyfriend. I'm also extremely broad.
Okay, yeah, I like that for you as well.
Like maybe himbo-y.
I'm dagger.
You're dagger.
Yeah, I'm dagger. I'm dagger no matter what. I feel that 1000%.
I like a little dagger, but I do not like the proximity required.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
If I were to be the one defending myself. But, like, also, if somebody needed to wield me to defend themselves, like, yeah.
Super versatile.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in.
You should be a little butterfly knife. So you can go...
But I'm not that dexterous.
Oh, okay.
I don't
know. I just
but
like it.
I like it.
What about, would you be throwing daggers?
No, and here's why.
Okay.
I feel a little too codependent for that. I don't want to be thrown.
Okay.
I want to stay close.
I think that's fair, because throwing daggers, it means you got a big pouch of them, and they're almost like disposable at that point. They're just like projectiles. And you try to gather them, but it's not quite.
But it's not guaranteed. Yeah. They might get lost out there.
Yeah.
And there's how many of us? No, I want to be like your dagger.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Thank you. I also like this game because it gives you the opportunity to be polyamorous if you want to be. But there are zero consequences for, like, that is, like, there's no, that is something that I don't like in games, is if you can, like, accidentally offend someone. Like, Dragon Age Origins has this as a pretty, like, unavoidable consequence of just being nice to people. You can accidentally have led two people on at the same time, and then if you start dating someone officially, you will upset the other person without ever having a conversation about your relationship.
Yeah.
In this game, that is very much not a thing. You just, each individual relationship is kind of treated as its own thing, and they don't intersect, and you don't really have to, like, make a conscious decision to, like, stop anything.
Yeah.
You can either decide to be, like, monogamous, or you can decide not to, and no one is going to be like, fuck you.
Right.
How dare you? Without you realizing that you did that. Yeah.
That seems healthy.
Yeah, definitely healthy, especially for a video game where you have limited choices. It also seeds some, like, plenty of avenues for there to be, like, you know, DLCs or sequels, things like that. I could see this becoming a new genre. I think the fact that it is a dungeon crawler with, you know, it does have, like, roguelite combat in it. And there's crafting, there's, you know, collections. This could become a genre of game, like, that I don't think exists really, where there is the focus is on dating, but there is actual gaming mechanics to it. Dream Daddy had a small little taste of that, but it was all mini games.
Right.
And it was very sporadic, like maybe, like, you know, 3 or 4 of them you'd encounter, like, throughout the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
This is, like, pretty seamless. And I think that could really, like, I don't know, that could be the new, like, that could be a new genre.
Yeah. Well, it makes me wonder, so you've enjoyed these 2 dating sims. It doesn't sound like you've probably had time to play a lot of other dating sims, but have you kind of, like, started looking around or researching or thinking about what the next one you'd like to try would be?
I haven't looked into the next one I'd like to try. I did try very briefly the one that was very popular on Tumblr for a while. Something Arcana.
I don't know.
I tried it. It was very binary. It was very much like, not in terms of, like, who you date, but, like, this answer or this answer. You know, like, it was very much, it didn't seem like there was much to it. I might be prejudging it because I didn't get that far. So I could potentially go back and try that again. But there was also, it was also a virtual storybook. There was no game mechanic to it, which is not necessarily bad. I guess new to that, so I should probably give it another chance.
Yeah.
But at the time that I tried it, it was a little bit bland to me.
The problem I have is all of the dating type sim type games that I've played are all mobile games, and dialogue options are all paywalled. And so, which is incredibly frustrating. Like, really, even if you're just trying to ignore that, you get to the point where you're actually literally not even able to play. And it's horrible. It's really horrible.
I would much rather fucking pay for a game.
That's what I need to do. It's horrible. It really is, because you can totally sense what the dialogue that you want to click is, and that clicking it would lead to a continuation of the plot. But being unable to select a dress to wear to the party or whatever stupid. Not only means you don't like go to the party in a way that's not that attractive to other people at the party, it means that you just stay home and it just forwards to the next morning. So you don't even get to engage with it. Right.
And so here's the roadblock that I've come across, is that I've started to look like, you know, on Steam, like what other games are like Dungeon Boyfriend, what other games are like Dream Daddy, and because I guess the genre is so, I don't know, like it is, am having trouble without having like other streamers recommend me these games. The recommendations from Steam are like hot baby sluts. Like, it's just like, that's like the games that are being like recommended to me as like, oh, so you like Dream Daddy, why don't you try, you know, underwear hookers? Like, it's clearly not what I'm actually looking for, searching for in terms of like
that just reminded me of when we jokingly, Francis, I should say, jokingly bought like whatever that Panty Warriors Nintendo game, and then it ended up not.
Yeah, but that was a pleasant surprise. That was a pleasant surprise.
It was. It ended up not being sexual somehow.
Yeah. What was it called? Panty?
I don't know.
Something?
But it was like the plot of Sailor Moon, but they turned into panties. But there's really nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Nothing sexual about it. They were just panties. Yeah. Not being worn by anybody, just underwear.
Yep, just underwear.
Yeah.
And I just thought
fighting each other.
The funniest part was in the reviews for the game. It was like, we know there have been a lot of complaints about what this game is, but it is not hentai.
Yeah. Please trust us.
It's weirdly not.
What an uphill battle that must be as a game developer. Although,
I mean, they kind of asked for it.
You dug your own
way.
Exactly. Yeah. So I truthfully, I really do want to play more games like this.
Yeah.
I just feel like the genre has a lot of crap to wade through.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find out. And this is one of the things that I really, really, truly appreciate about streamers, is that like I think that probably most of the games that I've started playing in the last year that I've loved have been because like a streamer has played them, and I've seen like a little bit of them, and like realized that it's something that I'd like. Yeah. I think that if you like dungeon crawlers and you really like very emotional dating games, you would like Dungeon Boyfriend.
I mean, I'm sold. I just literally haven't ever played any of these games, but not for any reason at all.
Yeah. I think you would like Dungeon Boyfriend a lot.
Who do you think I would date?
Oh, it's a tie for me between the girl, who is, to be honest, very good.
It's probably just that.
And there is a God, I forget his name, but there is a character who's like a little bit like dark, mysterious-esque, and I think you might kind of be drawn to him.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the other options, but both of those seem very, very likely. Well, okay, so if...
there's also a cat.
Well, but you said you can't date the cat.
You can't date the cat, but they can be your best friend. Like you can you could like put, so like you have 6 levels that you can put into any character. You can put all 6 levels into all of the characters if you want. But if you put 6 levels into one and not the others, they are like your
main.
So you could potentially
that's an interesting
main
question.
The cat. Yeah. Would you choose a cat over true love?
That's an interesting question.
And I don't know if I
don't know the answer. It depends on the cat.
Yeah. It's a good cat. It's a cat that's brass knuckles when the cat wants to be brass knuckles.
Well,
It's also an orange cat.
All right, yeah. I was going to ask. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so much for that. So, would you say between, I almost said Dungeon Daddies. It's not the name of the game.
No.
Dream Daddy and Dungeon Boyfriend. Which one should I play? Or Boyfriend Dungeon?
Boyfriend Dungeon, 1,000%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say. It's that one. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Also, I just think that Dream Daddy, it has no business being that difficult.
Right.
A B on a date is good enough. You should be able to.
I mean, when a B is a B,
someone.
sure. When a B is a C, do you get Gabe when a B is a C? I don't think so.
I know. Like, make what are these S's? I don't understand the S's.
But the rest of the scoring alphabet is the same. It's just the S.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to a Catholic school for 1 year in elementary school, and their grading letters were totally different. And I think S was the highest.
Yeah, S is the highest.
But then, but then all the other letters were different. Like M was an F.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to check it out. I'm glad that you decided to give it a chance because it to me seems like something you would obviously like.
And apparently I do. But now I need 1,000 more. And I need them to all be on this caliber of like either Dream Daddy or Dungeon Boyfriend. Now I have a need that needs to be filled immediately by the market, and like it's not happening fast enough. Yeah.
Did you play Hades?
So,
and tell me how it's different, because it seems like a little bit of the vibe.
So, yes, except that Hades' combat method is not roguelite. Hades' combat it's very hard. I've watched people that are better gamers than me struggle with it. And there's no easy setting for it. It's just difficult. And I don't really find that fun. It's not fun for me. I like there to be combat. I like there to be like mild challenges. I don't feel satisfied by turn-based combat in general, and I don't feel satisfied by it when it's especially hard, and Hades seems to be especially difficult.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the bummer, because I think that the story that's in there is probably incredibly satisfying.
Seems like it. Yeah.
But I think it is just so horribly blocked behind challenges. So when are you going to play a dating TTRPG?
Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good night, everybody.
All right, Avalon.
What
are you doing after this?
I'm going to have a cup of tea, and I'm going to go hang out with Francis because he walked in on the podcast earlier saying he just wants to hang out.
Aww.
And I said, but I'm recording a podcast. And he said, I forgot. But he kept approaching and talking. And I was like, okay, but you still have to leave. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just was coming here to say hi. And he kept getting closer and closer. And I said, no, you have to go. And he looked sad.
Do you know, you can tell him, hey, do you want to be a part of this?
Uh-huh.
It's funny you mention that because we have a role specifically carved out for you that you can record right now.
Well, but he doesn't want to be a part of this. He just wants friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell him I'll be there and we can all be friends together.
Where?
In Oregon.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm coming there.
Oh, I know. I just didn't. I didn't know what you're talking about. But yes.
I want to rewatch Schmigadoon, but that's for another episode. Then I'm gonna go watch Marty play go-kart soccer on the
Oh my God,
video game.
Marty. What a boy game. What an esports game.
If you ever see my username in any kind of boy game, it's actually Marty.
Tell them my dream.
Marty's dream is that men that hate me on the internet will respect me because they have seen Marty kick their asses with my username.
With car soccer?
In car soccer.
Oh, Marty.
I know.
That's not what makes guys respect.
No,
it's
not. But it's a nice dream. It's a sweet dream.
Well, sweet dreams, Marty.
Sweet dreams,
and
Marty.
sweet dreams, listeners.
Sweet dreams, listeners. You can find all of our Femsplained content either on patreon.com/Femsplained, Twitter, you can find us at FemsplainedCast, Instagram, you can find us at Femsplained Podcast, and you can check out superdillon.com/Femsplained to find the guest form and all of the different places where you can listen and connect with us.
Awesome. You can find and follow me, Avalon, at @A_CatAttack on both Twitter and Twitch.
And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and all the places at Super Dylan, and that is DILLIN.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.
Bye.
Fly!